What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a different type of video. I've been liking my Mario Kart videos I made throughout 2022 and 2023, and I really want to keep making more of them, and I think we're about ready. With the end of the Nintendo Switch lifecycle we're approaching, I say it's time we eventually get ready for the big stuff that we could be seeing very, very soon on the Nintendo Switch 2. Or the Switch Pro. Switch Pro, that's not going to be a thing anymore, but regardless what the next console includes, there's one thing I do root for if the video timing, you already know what I'm hoping for more, but one series that I feel like will probably, hopefully get an original game on the next console is Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 is basically my favorite Mario Kart game now, counting the DLC, but I'm ready to move on to something different now for Mario Kart. It's been over a decade since 8 Deluxe, and Tour doesn't really interest me, minus a few exceptions, so yeah, we're just not going to include. Yeah. Anyway, let's just go and get this started. So, what I'm gonna break this up to different categories, and you'll see what I mean. So, here's a real question with Mario Kart 9/10, if you count Tour, because there are always those people like, actually, Mario Kart 9 is Mario Kart Tour. I don't give a shit. Hopefully Nintendo won't call it by a number, because that'd be lame. Anyway, so yeah, what will be the main gimmick of the game? It seems like a lot of Mario Kart games always have this sort of gimmick of adding something different to the table of like kart parts and you know, just the gameplay in general. Like for example, 8 anti-gravity, Mario Kart Double Dash is 2 characters per kart, Mario Kart Wii's bike system. So I don't know what they can do. Your guess is as good as mine. I've seen some people predict a Wonder Flower for Super Mario Bros. Wonder. You know, that could be kind of funny if implemented well, honestly. So I wouldn't be against that personally. So yeah. I think for things we can see back, I hope they bring back wheelies or bikes. I mean, I guess it would be tricky to do if this next consoles have like insane motion controls or something, but I don't know, maybe as a button it wouldn't be bad, I guess. And of course, bring back the card customization from 8 and 7, yeah, we can keep that in there too, and we can keep the underwater tracks and going in the air. So yeah, everything else from previous Mario Kart games will be here to stay. Just make the track selection, especially the retro tracks I want to predict, a lot easier for me. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the character roster. Alrighty, so most of y'all already saw my character roster if you've watched my Mario Kart roster video, but last time I made this, I forgot Isabelle from Animal Crossing. Even though I'm not really too big on her, I feel like she would be here to stay. So I did rearrange this a little bit, changed up a few things. And those who saw my community posts already know what this is, but yeah. The first row is your typical main cast characters, with Rosa and Pauline also up there. I mean, Rosa should be part of the main cast, of course, and Pauline will be there. So yeah, I think she will be a mainstay. The second row has other characters I feel like should be mainstays as well. We have Wario, Waluigi, Toadette, Birdo. Nabbit, I feel like he could be a mainstay. I don't know, it's hard to say on Nabbit. Nabbit is one of those characters that just shows up randomly sometimes, so yeah. Egad, I think it's finally time to give Egad a chance to join the Mario Kart series, and the Mario spin-off game in general. Toadsworth is coming back, because yes, and of course I have Luma. The third row I have as the Donkey Kong cast characters. Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Dixie, Funky, Cranky, Donkey Kong Jr., a Critter, because I didn't know what other Kong to put. And Nintendo isn't weird with their WTF characters, and I of course included King K. Rool, so yeah. And then we have the babies row and the clones. I think Luigi could fit really well, honestly, so I think we will include... I think Luigi would fit pretty well, honestly. Of course, we have Bowser, the Bowser and the baddies. A few baddies to include, because yeah, I didn't want to add too many baddies. Hopefully, this isn't too many. And then, of course, you have the Koopalings in the row, more enemies in the next row, and then the past 3 rows are kind of just random includes I could think of, because I did not want this roster to be so boring. I include Cappy, Polterpup, Honeyqueen is back. Blooper will be playable. He's not going to be an item, by the way. Peachettes is that row because sure, I guess. Boom Boom. I didn't bring back Paw Palm because I don't think she's that interesting, to be honest. And Nintendo will probably use it more. I don't know. It kind of depends. And then I included that second to last row, Gino Mallow, a Pianta, because why not? Wow, Poochie, there's 2 dogs. What the dog doing? Prawn Plants, Mona, Jimmy, and Ashley. I decided to include some WarioWare characters because we really need... I feel like Mario Kart should benefit from Wario series. If DK and Yoshi can do it, why can't Wario? And of course, the last row being Nintendo inclusions. Basically, I replaced Isabelle with Fox. Sorry, buddy. So yeah, but yeah, everything else remains pretty much the same as what you saw like back in like November, I believe. So yeah, this is the character roster. And now for the fun part, the tracks. Alrighty, now it's time for the tracks in this game. This was very tricky to utilize, and this is the second time I'm recording this because I feel like the last one I tried to at least the last retro course I tried to predict wasn't good. So I decided to at least redo it a little, so I think I'm a little more happy with this layout I have. So yeah, here we go. Let's not waste any more time and get started with showing you guys my retro course predictions. I'm not going to show new courses because Nintendo can come out with the most crazy ideas that you can think of, like every other Mario Kart game. So yeah, let Nintendo do that. Let me show y'all what I have. Starting us off with the first cup of the game, the Shell Cup, which is going to have Peach Circuit, because I need to include one type of beginner course in there, and I'm not bringing back Figure Mid Circuit. That track sucks. If I was going to bring it back, it would be Mario Kart 8's version of Mario Circuit, which is basically Figure 8, but better. Figure 8 Circuit believers need to see that track. I also added Vanilla Lake. I joke about this track never coming back. I mean, it could probably be playable, at least in this version, even if it wouldn't still be good. But I also needed to include, like, a SNES course that's probably brought back in HD, so sure, Vanilla Lake, I guess. Alright, next up is Paris Promenade. This is like a beginner tour track, and I say it fits pretty well. I was either this or London Loop. I don't know why I included London Loop originally, so yeah, this is a little bit better. And the last one being Shy Guy Bazaar. This is one of those tracks I honestly forget exists, and some people want it back, so I just included it because why not? I don't really have a close attachment to it because I don't really have best memories with it. It's just kind of there for me. Anyway, next up is the Banana Cup. As you can see with these track selections here, gets a little more interesting. We still some basic ones, but they're a little bit better later on. We have Mario Circuit 4 from SNES. This is the only Mario Circuit track that hasn't returned. Nintendo loves bringing back Mario Circuit 3 a lot, so let's hope we get the 4th one. It's technically longer, so I hope it gets has some obstacles and stuff to actually make it interesting, but I'm not getting my hopes up for that because it's a SNES course. What am I saying? Okay, next up is, of course, Luigi's Mansion from DS. This is a track that didn't get in the Booster Course Pass, and while it is basic, of course, I say it fits pretty well for the Banana Cup, so yeah, we're bringing back Luigi's Mansion. When you think about it, the Booster Course Pass didn't give Luigi a track. Poor Luigi. Alright, now here comes a track that hasn't came back yet, and that is Toad's Factory. I don't think this track is in my top 5 tracks, but I can totally see the appeal of why people want this back. It's so unique compared to other Wii tracks, and the music is just a banger too, so I would love to see Toad Factory make a comeback, honestly. And last but not least is, of course, Yoshi's Island from the Booster Course Pass. I mean, Yoshi's Island, it's like one of the coolest ideas. I would love to see this one come back, because Yoshi hasn't had a good track, amazing track per se, since this one, in my opinion. Sorry, I don't care for Yoshi's Valley. I guess Yoshi's Circuit is fine too, but Yoshi doesn't get the best tracks if I'm gonna be real. Okay, next up, of course, we have is the Leaf Cup. Here's where things get interesting. First off, we have is N64 Wario Stadium. This is the one N64 track that hasn't came back in a single Mario Kart game. It's basically like one of the longer tracks, so I can see why people would be fearing this one, but with the different gameplay mechanics on like 64, even though I kind of don't really mind Mario Kart 64, I think they can have a lot of faith in this remake, honestly. And also fix the theme because it does not fit. They need to like reimagine this course and make the theme fit, because the theming does not fit this course in my opinion. So yeah. Spoilers, by the way, it's not the worst track in Mario Kart 64. If you actually think that, go. Next up is Mushroom City from Mario Kart Double Dash. This is basically another Double Dash track that has a return in capacity. I've been begging for this one to come back for a long time now, and I think it's time. And basically, we've already had Mushroom Bridge several times, and I think people who play Mushroom Bridge would be more interested in Mushroom City, in my opinion. I think Mushroom City is 10 times better, in my opinion, so I hope we get this one. Next up is Maple Tree Way. This is a Wii Course fan favorite that, come on, we have to bring this one back. Honestly, I mean, it's freaking Maple Tree Way. We gotta have it in there. So yeah. And last for the Leaf Cup is Airship Fortress. The fact that this didn't get in the Booster Course Pass is very depressing. So yeah, we better get this one back. Okay, that's the Leaf Cup. Next up we have is the Lightning Cup. This is where things get interesting. First track we have is Dry Ruins from Mario Kart Wii. This is a Wii track, very underrated in my opinion. The best desert course in the entire Mario Kart series. And the view is just a banger. You go inside the pyramid. It's just so amazing. Man, they should really just bring this back. This was, honestly, I would have been more hyped for this in the Boost Course Pass more than like half of the Wii courses. But y'all ain't ready for that conversation. I'm not telling you which one. By the way, it's not DK Summit because that's my favorite. Alright. But yeah, Dry Ruins. I'm praying this one comes back, honestly. Alright, next up is Tours Piranha Plant Pipeline. This is a tour track that hasn't returned in the Boost Course Pass. The only one that didn't get in the Boost Course Pass. So I say we're definitely, it's almost like a lock. We're gonna probably get this one back. So yeah. Next up is Bowser Castle from Mario Kart Double Dash. I'm sick of GBA Bowser Castle tracks, so I hope we get this one, honestly. I mean, not a problem like Bowser Castle 3 or maybe the 4 if we're going off tour, but like, come on, there's just so many better Bowser Castle tracks out there. So I hope it's Double Dash. I prefer Wii to be added, but realistically, I think it has to be Double Dash. And last but not least is, of course, Rainbow Road from Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's like the next Rainbow Road they gotta bring back, so it only makes sense I include it here. Okay, so that's your typical 4 retro courses. Now, considering the Boost Course Pass spoiled us with a bunch of tracks, some people are probably not happy with this, right? Yeah, I can totally see why. That's because... Congratulations! You unlocked 2 more cups to play. The 2 more cups to play. So, if we go here, we go to the Bell Cup. This lineup is more biased, if anything. You can tell I put a lot of bias into this because the 3 first tracks are like my top 3 favorite male characters in the Mario franchise. So, yeah. Actually, DK. Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Bell Cup will have DK's Jungle Parkway because... I don't know, it's a DK track that hasn't returned, and I need more DK, so yeah. I think you can do pretty well with this. I mean, it wouldn't really change much. I definitely think it needs a new remix song, like a loop track, but just adds more like instruments, sort of. So something like other remixes could do, honestly. Next up is Wario Shipyard. This is a 3DS track people sleep on, in my opinion. And I think it should come back, honestly. I would love to see this one come back. It's like an underwater pirate ship. Definitely one of the most overshadowed tracks in Mario Kart 7. Next up, Waluigi Pinball. I mean, it's Waluigi Pinball. I gotta include this one in here, honestly. Every Mario Kart game needs to bring back Waluigi Pinball. It's not an opinion. It's just facts. Who cares if you're not a fan of it? Alright, and next up, of course, last is Squeaky Clean Sprint. I just had to put a tour track in here, and I really love this. This is the best of the original tour tracks, in my opinion. So, yeah, I would love to see Squeaky Clean Sprint back, honestly. Okay, and the other cup I'm going to talk about is, of course, the Cape Cup. I'm putting, like, names of these because, sure. Here we have another Wii U track, because I barely include any in this now I'm thinking about it, is, of course, the Cape Cup Electro Dome, not Electro Drome. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't think of any other Wii U tracks that'd be fitting for this layout. I just put it here because it's a banger track, so yeah, why not? Next up, of course, is Delfino Square. This hasn't came back since Wii. I honestly did not remember if it was in Mario Kart Tour or not, and I realized it wasn't. So yeah, Delfino Square better come back in this game. Okay, next up is Coconut Mall. We better get Coconut Mall in this one because, yeah, she'll bring back Coconut Mall. But I hope it actually makes some improvements on, like, I didn't really mind Mario Kart 8's version because, like, it's still Coconut Mall, but I can see why people are probably more towards Wii than pretty much every other remake that happened. So, yeah, but it's still Coconut Mall, so might as well include it. And last but not least is another Tour City, Vancouver Velocity. I really love this one. I probably would put Singapore Speedway, but I just put a safer option. And just for, like, it's kind of a snowish one, so it fits. Because I barely have any snow courses here. Alright, and of course we have a DLC. The other DLC courses here, we have Woohoo Loop. I'm not really. I think this track is kind of just whatever to me, at least in terms of playing it, because there's just not a lot to it to me other than just Wii Sports. But I can see it. I might as well include it just for the supporters. Next up, Freyby Snowland. Not the most interesting NC Sport track, but I'm really liking on snow courses, and I did not want to include one that's already been brought back so many times. I could include DK Summit here for my bias, but I have to be realistic here. I hope Donkey Kong gets a new track instead. So yeah. We have Dolphin Shallows. I was really liking on like beach theme areas, so I just included it because why not? And of course, the last one will be Wario Coliseum. This track hasn't came back since like ever, honestly, and people have been begging for it, myself included. It's like my third favorite track in this game, so I'm praying it comes back, honestly. Alright, and the very last cup is the Blue Shell Cup, of course. Here we have Cloud Top Cruise. This is basically a Wii U track I needed to include because I barely include any of them. 3 of them is perfectly fine. And, of course, we have here is Lakeside Park. This will be a GBA track as a return. We've already had Riverside Park back, so it's time for Lakeside Park. Here we have DS Bowser's Castle, because that'll be the next Bowser Castle they bring back. And last but certainly not least will be Rainbow Road from Mario Kart Double Dash. Not even my bias alone, this is the Rainbow Road I'm hoping for the most, honestly. So yeah, these are the retro courses I am predicting for the next Mario Kart game. Not too many GBA tracks now that I'm thinking about it, but the last few Mario Karts already had decent amounts, and most of them are hit or miss, so I think this is perfectly fine in my opinion. And as for the SNES courses, I only included 2. As for the N64 courses, I included, I think, only 2, right? No, 3. As for GBA, like I said, I included 2. I included a little more Double Dash tracks in here because Double Dash really needs some tracks that haven't really made a comeback. 4 seems like a lot, but Double Dash deserves better. I'm miscounting. I see another one from GBA. God damn, I forgot I had Rainbow Road. Yeah, I think I have... Do I have 5? No, I have 4. No, 4. Yeah, 4. 4 GameCube tracks. For DS, I have... Make sure I'm counting this right. 1, 2... 3, 4. 4 DS tracks. It's like the usual same fan favorites, I guess. For Wii, I did try to lower it down to more or less ones that haven't returned, but I still have a decent amount in here. So I say this is good. We don't need get your Wii bias, but still. As for 3DS, I have a I have a decent amount in here. 1, 2, and then 3. I say that's pretty good, and we only have 3. Okay, this is pretty good until I have a decent amount. So yeah, that's the retro courses. Let's move on to the very next part. And now, we're going to predict Battle Mode tracks. Battle Mode isn't that great, and it's pretty inconsistent in the games. But, here are the battle courses I would personally add, because I feel like 10 battle courses, and 10 new ones, which a total of 20. It may sound like a lot of battle courses, but any less than 10, you're going to get bored easily. So I'd say this could be a fun battle mode if handled well. All 5 of the modes will come back, maybe one new one if they could come up with one. So yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Now let's predict some Mario Kart items. Okay, next up we have is the items, and these are all the returning items. We have our basic mushrooms, shells, bananas, all that, and I decided to bring back the character-specific items, in my opinion. Now, this is a thing in Mario Kart Double Dash has been criticized for not being well balanced. I say hopefully it is balanced well, they can be fine. And I also brought back some old fan favorites, being the fake item box. It may not be the most interesting in terms of defending yourself from shells and stuff, but it's such an iconic item in the series. I say it better handles in like 64 DS where it looks similar, but not exactly. But, like, come on, the fake item box, I feel like they should bring it back, honestly. I bring back the Ice Flower because it's another iconic power-up, the Feather because why not. I brought back some other character-specific items, and also I'm bringing back the Power Block. Basically, Mario Kart Wii, you have to basically you have to jump at the right timing so you don't get power blocked. I think that could be a pretty cool gimmick. I also brought in the Coin Boss just for coins, and you're gonna need a... I don't know, I didn't really like it's either this or the freaking Tanuki Leaf, and the Tanuki Leaf is just very lame, honestly, so yeah. And the Mega Mushroom, because I think it can be funny, so yeah. Alright, So I predicted characters, cards tonight, or not cards. Cards can really depend. I'm not going to predict that. So let's go over the final touches of Mario Kart, shall we? Alright, and the final touches we gotta talk about with Mario Kart is, of course, any other, like, extra modes. We're gonna still keep the usual Grand Prix, Time Trials, versus Battle mode, but there's gonna be one extra mode, which is the single-player campaign mode. I was shocked Mario Kart has hardly did this. The only exception was Mario Kart DS, in the form of a mission kind of structure though, but I'd say a full single-player campaign mode can work pretty well for the series in my opinion. How would it look like? I'd say a few challenges here and there, going through like different areas and tracks trying to beat your opponent. I'd say it can work pretty well, honestly. I'm shocked Mario Kart series has never tried this. I guess it would be too tricky as long as it's not too underwhelming, too overwhelming or anything like that, but hey, I guess you can always do, I guess it depends, but I think it could add more to Mario Kart having stuff to do in my opinion. So I say a single player mode, especially when other Mario spin-off games do this, I say it could be fun, honestly. So yeah, and Mii's will come back. We'll still have the usual, like, you know, reward trophies, all that stuff, and yeah. Alright, so that's all the predictions I have for the Mario Kart series. Any like new tracks or anything like that, Nintendo could just throw whatever they want, I guess. So yeah, hopefully we get a brand new Mario Kart game and not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again, please. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. What are you hoping for the next Mario Kart game? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.